Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back.
Welcome back, you guys,
This is Two Couch Review.
to Couch Review. And what are we reviewing today?
We are reviewing Fire Force. As you can see in the title, it is episode 7, 8, 9. We are continuing on through the series, and
And apparently we're doing ASMR because of how calmly we're talking
exactly. Well, the episodes were pretty hype, so we had to bring it down a little bit. We had to bring the energy down a little bit.
right now. Just a little bit, you guys. These are pretty intense episodes. Speaking of which, we do want to tell you guys, sorry for the brief hiatus.
Yep.
I know that we went a week without it, but it was holiday time, turkey, a lot of food, all that stuff. Went into a coma. We couldn't shoot, but we probably will be able to shoot for Christmas time. We're just we're just putting it out there.
Yeah, unless anything comes up out of the blue, then we should have an episode out for the 26th.
Yeah, so don't get mad. Don't get frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
We know you guys need your fix.
Yeah.
But till then, we're cool. Just
We're
chill.
cool. We're cool.
Yeah.
All right. So
let's just jump into it.
yeah, jumping right into it. So what'd you think of episode 7?
Episode 7. Should we do the... Okay, there it was. Yeah. All right. So episode 7, I really enjoyed it. I think it was a good continuation from episode 6. Everything continued from before, more or less.
Yeah, I mean it's jumping into a new like story arc.
Yeah.
But overall, the continuation of like same characters and everything and dialogue was pretty spot on.
Still present. I was really expecting to see the character Joker from the previous episodes eventually be in this one on purpose. Kind of like, oh well, clearly he's gonna be in it.
Mm-hmm.
Still nothing. I know I'm jumping a little ahead, but yeah, he wasn't in this episode. And then you can see that they're having a barbecue. I guess is more or less what it put it. I mean, I know they're shish kebabbing, but it's barbecue.
They were just like celebrating Company 8 and Company 5 working together and settling their differences.
Shout out to Princess. I like Princess.
Princess
I like her
Hibana.
character. Yeah, she's a good character.
We see Obi and Hibana, the two captains of the 8th and the 5th respectively.
Mm-hmm.
They were talking about the research that the 5th has been doing and that people are starting to kind of create infernals on their own instead of just letting it happen.
Yeah,
I don't know, naturally, I guess.
And Princess explains to him that the company that she's associated with is going to want information and want to know why this is getting leaked out, more or less.
Yeah, her jurisdiction.
Yeah, so he's just, she's just giving him heads up, like, these people are going to be coming after you more or less because you're digging in a little deep.
Mm-hmm.
So she does have their back. They're going to work together. And that's pretty much it for that part of the episode.
Yeah, so then we go into the next part, which is Obi telling Shinra and Arthur that they are going to do an undercover investigation into the first company's people,
and
their
then
fire soldiers.
And then by doing this, it's a part of the fire forces. All the companies have this rule to where you can actually go for a month and basically get mentored at a different company, in which case they are going to pursue Company 1 because they feel the Company 1 is actually the, I guess, center of all this, kind of.
Yeah, pretty much. They
know.
had some information that said that a lot of the infernals that were being made were happening in
their
Company 1's jurisdiction. So that's why they're investigating Company 1.
Which leads them to believe, it's all there, so why not check on him?
Exactly. So Arthur and Shinra, and then another guy from Company 5 and another guy from Company 2.
Well, was it Company 2 or I thought it was Company 5 also?
I just said Company 5 and 2.
Well, no, 2 guys from Company 5.
No.
Because it's the one guy from he makes bubbles.
Yeah, that's from Company 5.
Yeah.
And Company 2
is
the Juggernaut guy.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. So all of them go there. Basically, Hibana used the Juggernaut guy from Company 2 and her guy from Company 5 to kind of disguise Shinra and Arthur, so it's not just Company 8 doing this.
Yeah, and it makes it obvious that what they're doing in it. So
we get some dialogue, some interactions between Byrne, I think his name is, the commander of the first, and then Shinra asks him to spar with all of them and test their skills. Their powers.
Yeah, show what they're about, and in doing so, they agree to it. Let's just jump ahead of all that because there's no reason, because that's just like kind of filler.
Yeah.
The lieutenants are the ones that end up like showing off the other companies, company 2 and then Company 5.
Company 5 didn't fight.
He didn't even fight. He just basically said, "You read my file. There's no reason for me to fight." So then, the captain says, "Okay, it's my turn," and then says, "I want Arthur and Shinra to fight me all at once." And so Arthur tells Shinra to take a step back. Gentleman fight. He goes first, gets destroyed.
Yeah.
And then Shinra is just like, okay, so he goes and hits him with his most powerful blast. Doesn't do nothing other than like burn his shirt, and then he ends up like raising his foot.
I have no idea. It didn't show it.
It didn't show it.
He basically just got like thrown into the air,
obliterated.
Yeah,
like
I have no idea what happened to him, but either way, he lost.
He lost bad.
So that's pretty much episode 7 right there.
Yeah, episode 7, and then we just jump right into episode 8. Episode 8 is when it starts getting pretty good again.
Yeah, episode 7 is just kind of building up to episode 8 and 9.
Yeah.
So 8, they're just chilling. Arthur and
because it was already they were there
5 days, I think.
Yeah, it was 5 days, more or less a week.
Yeah. And an infernal pops up, and all the company gets dispersed to deal with it. And Arthur and Shinra are ordered to stand back while Company 1 deals with this, because they were like, oh, the newbies are going to mess up the leadership of our company.
Exactly. And their exact words were, you're just going to get in the way, and it'll just create confusion with everyone else. So you just stay back, let us handle what we're going to do. And then in doing so, while they were sitting there waiting, they end up seeing someone, like an arm come out of nowhere. There was actually a drunk guy walking out. An arm comes out of nowhere with a little bottle, and he presses up against the guy's back. And then you see that it's a little bug that goes inside of them, which causes them to become Inferno.
Mm-hmm.
And so...
pretty crazy.
Yeah, so Shinra immediately, does his hot feet, takes off, flying after him.
Yeah.
And then they end up... I didn't even think about it, but this is when Arthur disappears, right?
No, Arthur's there.
Arthur is there, right?
Arthur's there. It's so they go into the alley, and they see... because they recognize the robes, and the robes that the arm was wearing was of the lieutenants, the 3 lieutenants of Company 1.
It belongs to one of them. In which
exactly.
Case, you don't know which one, but later you in the very next. Well, no, it is later in that episode. You find out who it is, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he sees the arm. He goes in the alley, sees the 2 lieutenants there. There's 2 of them. So you don't know which one it is, and they're not trying to expose themselves yet.
Yeah.
So Arthur's ready to fight, but Shinra's, takes a step back, looks at the overall situation, and was like, "Hey, Arthur, shut up.
Yeah.
We can't blow our coverages yet.
Yeah. Just take a moment. Let's just reassess.
Yeah.
And then if anything later, when we get back to the company, we'll just go through each person's or through their rooms and try to find something." In doing so, they end up going to one of the lieutenant's rooms, actually find the bug, the little bottle filled with the bug, and they're like, "Oh, it's him actually." And then ironically, he happens to walk in the room and says, you guys are gonna blow my cover because I've been actually trying to find out who's the one who's been doing this."
Yup.
And that was the one thing that I thought immediately too, is like Shinra's like, his thought was exactly mine, like, So
yeah, how can we trust you?
Yeah, how can we trust you? You have this thing, you kind of caught. And then he just basically tells him, like, I know who it is. Just trust me. We'll go find together. And then that's actually, that's kind of like.
That's kind of it. They were just like, okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah. And, all right, why not? Why don't we just believe you?
Yeah.
So that actually just leads into episode 9 pretty much.
No, there was a little bit after. So once he like trusts him, it cuts to one of the lieutenants, Rekka, who ends up being the guy that had the arm.
Hence why we said that.
Exactly. So he was one of the lieutenants. He was there in the alley with Karim, the one who had the bottle that Shinra and Arthur found.
Yeah, which immediately they're the ones who thought that it was him because they checked his room and found it.
So it cuts to Rekka and Tamaki, the cat girl with the fire powers that we saw in the games.
Yeah, just a heads up. I'm going to refer to her as cat girl because I forget her name.
It's just easier. So it cuts to her grabbing some kids and telling them that she knows how to protect them from the flames and becoming infernal.
Yeah, so she takes them to the Lieutenant Raka and pronounce that correctly, right? Rekka, and tells him like, oh, he found a prayer that will make sure that they never become infernal, and she's just so I want to say in love with him, but more like like enamored with his like character and everything, that she doesn't see that he's just like it's like blinding her that he's actually really not that good of a guy in retrospect.
Exactly.
So she believes everything he says. He says, just trust me, and he tells her to leave. He's going to say the prayer. She says why, there's no reason for it. So he goes to give her a hug and he ends up choking her out. So she can be blamed for what's going to happen. And that's when he starts, he immediately puts it to one of the mothers of the kids and ends up making her go inferno.
And then he just kills her right there.
He just kills her
right on the spot.
Yeah, just boom in front of the kids. So they're panicking, freaking out. He goes to,
does Cat
Girl wake up first and says something? Then he goes over and beats her up, knocks her out, and then he goes to the kids?
No, I don't think so. I think it's the other way. He goes to the kid and gives it to him, and he actually like starts to become infernal, but he doesn't. He like fights it back and gets it under control.
Yeah. And then that's when Cat Girl wakes up and starts asking him like, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
I not love you. I admire you.
I respect you. Yeah.
I respect you. What are you doing? And he gets pissed off, goes over there and basically beats the crap out of her.
Yeah.
I mean, really does beat the crap out of her to the point where he was just going to kill her. Originally, he was just going to set it up to where it looked like she was the one doing everything, so she'd get in trouble. Then all that goes out the window when she like sees what he's doing, and boom, it's just like, no, now you're going to die. I'm just going to kill you.
Exactly.
Screw it.
And then our boy Shinra over here, he and Karim and Arthur are all out on search for Rekka because
they realized it was him.
Yeah.
So basically, we're gonna get to him, find out what he's doing, and then get more information out of him. At this point.
So Shinra's flying overhead, searching for people, and he sees Tamaki. She uses her fire powers to actually basically shoot a little fire thing up in the sky like a signal.
Yeah.
And he sees that. Shinra rushes over, crashes through the ceiling, looks pretty cool while doing it, and stomps on this dude's head through the metal.
And just like I thought that was it. Yeah. I thought he knocked him out. That was the end of the episode where they were gonna arrest him. And
nope.
He got up and was like, no.
Exactly. And then that's episode 9. So this whole fight was between Rekka and Shinra, and they're actually pretty evenly matched. They're going toe to toe. Rekka's fire ability is stronger than Shinra's, but Shinra has more mobility in this enclosed factory kind of area.
Yeah,
so he uses that
to his advantage. He picks him up in the air and then starts trying to beat him up in the air, which he does pretty much accomplish. And then finally it gets to the point where Rekka is just getting the upper hand on Shinra and Shinra, excuse me, and that was gonna be it. He's gonna lose, and then just before he was gonna use his power to blow up, because it was fire star or something like that, fire, something like that.
it looked like he was about to like self-combust.
Yeah.
Know? Like Shinra had a line where he was like, "You're gonna get burned by your own flames if he makes them like too hot," I guess.
Yeah, in which case I wasn't even aware that they could do that.
I didn't know that either.
And then so when that happens, right when he's gonna, I thought it was gonna push himself to where he goes inferno, and that's what I was expecting him to do. So right when he was gonna combust, that's when you said his name, Karim, ends up freezing him.
Yeah.
And then so Rekka starts telling him, your eyes can't hold me. So he starts heating up real hard, and then it just didn't work.
Exactly.
Karim actually is able to freeze him completely. And then
Karim's ability is weird. He has this like instrument thing where it's like he takes his abilities, like he takes fire and turns it into sound, and then the sound turns into cold. So basically anytime that you try and make fire, he just turns it into ice.
So it's kind of a good balance.
That's pretty good balance.
Yeah, it's pretty good balance
And
there.
then, so he freezes Rekka, and they're all like, okay, well, glad that's over. We can take him back and unfreeze him.
And then interrogate him, find out
some information.
Yeah, find out what this cult that basically he's talking about that he's trying to actually make.
Yeah. He was explaining in the fight where he was like, basically, their grand plan is to set the world on fire and make it into a second sun.
Yep.
So that was, I don't know why. I'm not sure who gains from that, but you know, whatever. So he's frozen and they're talking, and then all of a sudden, these two people on the other side of the building that I guess were watching him, making sure that, you know, either he completes his task or he doesn't.
Yeah. They shoot a fire arrow right through his chest.
Yeah, as he's frozen.
And that's it. The guy,
he's dead.
Rekka is dead.
It's a good sized hole.
It's a huge hole. Yeah. And then we didn't mention that their group is called the Evangelists, right?
Yeah, like Evangelists or something like that.
Evangelist or
Evangelist or something.
Something like that. Yeah, it's a little, but for this moment's sake, Evangelist. So so right away, I just forgot the ice guy's name again. Karim tells, no, because then they go for the second shot and it ends up blowing the other lieutenant who just happens to show up at the end of everything. He shows up and he ends up pushing Karim out of the way, and then that person who's shooting the fire arrows ends up blowing his arm off. So Karim tells Shinra, like, you need to fly up in the air and make a dust cloud so that way they can't see us inside here. And in doing so, obviously they can't shoot him no more, and so they tell the cat girl, like, you need to shoot your power their direction so that way we could start freezing it and scaring them away. And in doing so, it tells them, like, okay, well, we accomplished our mission, let's leave. And then we're talking like the Evangelists, they're like, okay, we killed Rekka, so it's time to go. Let's go. So they just kind of walk away.
So they just leave.
Yeah.
And after the credits, it kind of explains more about what was happening. So with that whole business going down about Rekka, the training got cut short. So Shinra goes back to Company 8. Also, Tamaki gets suspended from Company 1 because of her involvement with Rekka bringing those kids there. So she gets moved to Company 8.
Yeah, because Company 8's well aware that it wasn't intentional. It wasn't like she tried to do it.
Yeah, exactly. So Company 8 takes her. So now Shinra and Tamaki are on a team. And then it's kind of just going over everything. And then Arthur, I guess, got lost looking for Rekka.
For Rekka.
And that's what Shinra thinks they put out. And he was like, they had to put out a search party. But then the very last scene is Arthur walking in like a desert kind of area, and he looks up and like smiles, like he knows exactly what he's doing. Yeah, and that's where it cuts off.
That cuts off. So we have no idea what's going on with Arthur. We don't know if it's a side story that we're gonna find out. Like, oh, it's because he actually had intentions of doing this. So we're gonna find out. So that is actually it, ladies and gentlemen. That's how the episode 9 ends. 7 through 9. What would you give it?
I give it 2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up.
I'd say it was pretty good.
It's pretty good. The show's actually getting really good. I give it 2 thumbs up also. And you know what? With that being said,
keep watching.
Keep watching.